All right, my friends, welcome back to another edition of I React to Your Unpopular Opinions and Hot Takes, in which hopefully I can find someone to absorb Reddit's hate instead of me. So that hopefully next time when I'm laying in bed at night, scrolling through Reddit, trying to get sleepy, you know, before another busy day when my son wakes me up at 5 a.m. Oh, it's been a long day. I worked hard, but you know, it's all good. I'm ready to go to sleep. And then I see my own name come up. Like, does anyone else think Finn Mckenty is a pretentious nerd and has the worst YouTube channel of all time? And there's 500 comments about how much I suck. I'm hoping that you will be the next target of Reddit's hate, not me. And that is what we will do today. We will talk about your deeply unpopular opinions so that Reddit will direct their hate towards you in the future. The first one from Obscure Mics. This is not really an unpopular opinion. It's more of a question, but I will answer the question. Better band, Paramore or No Doubt? Well, first of all, I feel like they don't really have much in common because they're from two different eras and they're kind of two different kinds of music. The only common thread is that they both have pretty girl singers. And if you notice, there's the thing where everybody compares every band to Paramore. Everybody compares any rock band with like a female singer to Paramore, which has always been like one of my kind of pet peeves. Let me just ask you this. Do you think that this... Do you think that that sounds like this? Do you? Do you think that sounds the same? Only common thread is women. That's it. Two different genres, two different eras. They don't sound anything like at all. My answer is I think No Doubt's the better band. I do like Paramore. I think they're both excellent. Yes, they're both dope. No need to put them head to head just because they both have beautiful front women. Exactly. So that's what we do. That's what we do is we always like try to pit women against each other. In all seriousness, they do this, right? Like there can only be one woman, right? Like, oh, is it Britney or Christina? You know, they always do this, and it's kind of bunk. I don't like it, but I think they're both great. Paramore has some really great songs. My favorite Paramore songs are actually their later ones, like "I'm Still Into You" and "Ain't It Fun." I really like the song that Hayley Williams did with Zedd, is also excellent. Overall, No Doubt, I would say, is the better band. No Doubt has never put out a bad album, or even an album that was anything less than great. Well, the early stuff is really bad. When they were still ska, that stuff sucked. But starting with Tragic Kingdom, everything after that is great. Very underrated. I think No Doubt is one of the best alternative rock bands of all time. I do. I think they're great. Like everything in their catalog is awesome. No Doubt is a close to flawless band. Paramore, I think, is very, very good. But I think No Doubt, in my opinion, is just on another level. But both are good. Yeah. Shout out to both. Okay. A hot take here from Dan Deman. Dan, can you prove that you are Deman? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that refer to themselves as Deman. But how would you prove that? I need to see your credentials that you are indeed Deman. His hot take is that Ghost, Baby Metal, Sleep Token, and Electric Callboy prove that gimmicks work in today's metal scene. I agree with this, but here's my question. When has metal ever not been about gimmick, right? I mean, you go back to Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Twisted Sister, all that, yeah, Gwar, I mean, and then later on Slipknot. Like, metal has always been about image and gimmick, which I think is kind of interesting. Marilyn Manson, yeah, exactly. Which I think is kind of interesting, considering that metal fans have this sort of idea that, you know, their genre, you know, metal is real, not like all that fake plastic bullcrap they play on the radio. Meanwhile, this is... This is metal. Meanwhile, it's always been like that, right? And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be into image. I mean, it's entertaining. I get it. This is like a spectacle. And metal people are also into stuff like pro wrestling and horror movies. Like, metal people want visual stimulation. You know what I mean? Metallica was notably free of gimmicks. Sure. I'm not saying every metal band like is driven by gimmick. I'm just saying in general, metal has always been a lot of like shock value and visual gimmicks and stuff like that, which is not a bad thing. Totally okay. There's nothing wrong with enjoying it, but it's just very interesting to me that metal people don't seem to recognize that. You know, I'll tell you what gimmick band is actually underrated. Necrogoblicon. I never really bothered to listen to them because I thought they were cringe, but it turns out they're actually great and hilarious. They have this song called We Need a Gimmick. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I feel like that's only a hot take if you're a metal fan that for some reason doesn't want to, you know, admit the truth, but it's the truth. Next, a question from Nick Noto. Favorite venue or craziest moment at a show you went to? I'll tell you what, I have been to hundreds and hundreds of hardcore shows over the years. As much as I would like to tell you that they were always so crazy and amazing and blah, 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 the fact of the matter is most of the shows that I went to were uneventful and boring, and it was like 35 people, you know, in a VFW hall or a basement or something, watching some band that, you know, let me put it to you this way. Back then, it was rare for the drum set to even be mic'd. Usually the drummer would just set up on the floor and that was that. And so you could like barely even hear what was going on. Here's a good example of like what shows were like in the 90s is like this. This would be considered a great show. I love this band, by the way. Abnegation. Love the band. But this is what it was like going to a show back in the day. You know, like 15 dudes standing around with their arms folded, like acting like they were into it. But I don't know. Like, I wish that I had a lot of great stories. I'll tell you the craziest thing that I ever saw. Earth Crisis played in Cleveland in 97 or 98. And for whatever reason, people, you know, they're a vegan band. And so whatever reason, people thought it was cool to go fuck with them. And so the guys from this band called One Life Crew showed up to like fuck with them and threw meat at them or something when they're on stage. And Ian from Earth Crisis like took out his bass and swung it at one of the guys in One Life Crew to like try to, you know, whack him with his bass, but he missed. And instead of hitting Chubby Fresh or whoever it was with his bass, he just like whacked some random kid in the head. And so they stopped the show. The kid's sitting on the side of the stage, like blood is just pouring out of his head. And Ian's like, sorry, man. Sorry about that. And the kid's just like, it's okay, but I think I need to go to the hospital. He just has this giant gash in his head. So that's probably the craziest thing I ever saw. But like, honestly, I don't have any super amazing, crazy stories really, because most shows are just this, like borderline boring, you know, that's the reality. A question from Andrew Davis, is AFI emo or goth? Well, the answer is neither one. AFI is screamo. Right? Here's the test of what genre a band is. Pretend that you have some like crappy job. Like back in the day, I did printing, you know, and sometimes, you know, there would be like a boombox, you know, where someone would be playing music, right? Like just sort of whoever happened to get there first and they got to choose the music. The way to know what genre a band is what would your like just sort of random normie loser coworkers call them if they walked in when you were listening to them on the boombox in the middle of the print shop? They'd be like, oh, hell yeah, man, I love this like hard rock screamo kind of stuff. Like, oh, I didn't know you liked screamo. Like, oh, yeah, I like screamo. You know, all kinds of screamo from, you know, Metallica, Linkin Park, Alice in Chains, just a few of my favorite screamo bands. But besides that, one of the best things in the world is how enraged metal fans get if you misgenre a band. It's bizarre. I really don't understand the absolute fixation that people have on what genre a band is. My coworker called Blink-182 metal the other day when I played it. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Blink-182 is my new favorite metal band. It's just bizarre to me how much people are fixated on this. Like, people will DM me sometimes to be like, what genre do you think Enter Shikari is? Or like, you know, what genre is Glassjaw? I mean, I guess if people care what my opinion is, I'm flattered, but it's just such an odd thing to care about to me, like what genre is. All I know, Blink-182 is metal, AFI is screamo. That's all I know. That's what I think. So there's my hot take. You can quote me on that. My favorite screamo band, AFI. Okay, a hot take from Artax. Hot take, you enjoy novelty more than music that is enjoyable to listen to, which is why you think that everything that everyone else likes is mediocre. That is a lie. That is a lie. It is true that in general, I prefer new music over old music because I just sort of I like to find new things. Like in video games, I like games that are about exploration. So I think there's just a part of my personality that enjoys new things. So there is that. But here's the deal, Artax. Here's the deal. I have standards. That's the difference between me and you, is I have high standards. You know, I've been listening to this shit for a very, very long time. As much as I hate to admit it, I've been listening to metal for over 30 years now. It is the year of our Lord 2023. And unfortunately, I've been listening to metal since 1991. Okay, and punk and all this shit. And I've been listening to rap since before that. I started listening to rap in 1987 when I was a little kid. So I've been listening to this stuff for an extremely long time. I think that I am just, you could say hard to please. You could say high standards, either way. But for me to hear death metal band number 5001 is all right, I've heard literally thousands of death metal albums. You got to bring something impressive to the table for me to care. It's not true that I enjoy novelty for its own sake, because I don't actually think that originality is inherently valuable. You could write something that's very original. That doesn't mean it would be enjoyable. But I'm not going to enjoy something that is just another instance of something that I've heard literally 1,000 times before. You know what I mean? So I would say that I am probably hard to please. But to be clear, I definitely don't think that everything everyone else likes is mediocre. That's complete mischaracterization. I make jokes about this stuff. I might make a joke about how you have pedestrian taste if you listen to, whatever Deftones, but I'm completely joking. And I feel like a lot of people maybe just don't understand that. It's a joke, people. You got to take a deep breath, just relax, let out the butt hurt. Here's what I'm going to be your therapist today. So breathe in, and when you breathe in, imagine cool blue air coming in. Now breathe out. And when you breathe out, imagine all the butt hurt leaving your body. Imagine the butt hurt leaving your body. Just let it go. Just let it go. Your butt is no longer in agony. That was your therapeutic moment for today. A hot take here from AC Way. Sleep Token is not good. SpiritBox is not good. Saying either is a great way to get crucified in the comments. Those are both great ways to get crucified in the comments. I don't think that's fair. I have been a Sleep Token criticizer in the past. That is true. For example, I think Sleep Token, they need a little bit more focused songs. In my opinion, they could take, a 7-minute song and chop that down to a 3.5-minute song that in my opinion would be better. However, I don't think they suck by any means. And I think that would be you can't say that Sleep Token sucks. That's just a dumb thing to say. I don't love Sleep Token, but they definitely don't suck. That's just stupid. I also think SpiritBox is really good. My favorite SpiritBox song is this one, Rotoscope, from last year. This is my favorite one, which is probably the most pop thing they've done. This is gent Billie Eilish. I thought this song was really cool. I like this one a lot. Yeah, there's a big difference between I don't like this thing and this thing is not good. If you can't recognize that something is well done, even if it's not your thing, that reflects more on you than on the thing. That is exactly right. And, when I say that I don't like something, that's all I'm saying is that I don't like it. There's lots of things that I don't like that are still objectively good, but it is definitely true that saying either of these things is a great way to get crucified in the comments, but especially the Sleep Token. Sleep Token meat writing is out of control, people. If you like Sleep Token, that's cool, but the meat writing is just absolutely out of control. It is nuts, people. Take Sleep Token's wieners out of your mouth, people. There's my hot take. A question from Beagle13.ttv. Will you do any more punk rock NBA videos on modern hardcore bands in the state of the scene? No, I will not, because I am a filthy capitalist and all I care about is making money, and videos about hardcore do not get views. That's not entirely true. It's not true that all I care about is making money, but you know, this is my job. This is how I pay the bills. So I do have to think about what's going to get views. So as much as it would be fun to make videos about modern hardcore bands, you know, really the only modern hardcore bands that might possibly get views would be Knocked Loose and Turnstile. I already made a video about Knocked Loose years ago. I don't really know that I have anything more to say about them. Turnstile, I'll probably make a video about them, but you know, the reality is that hardcore is a very small genre. It just is. Like, even Turnstile is not that big of a band. Knocked Loose is not that big of a band, which that's no shade on them. It's just hardcore is a small genre, so it just wouldn't make sense for me to make videos about them. Just do 10 Limp Bizkit videos in a row. Have you ever watched my channel? You think I haven't already done 10 Limp Bizkit videos in a row? No, I haven't made 10 Limp Bizkit videos in a row, but I've definitely made 5. I have made the same video about Limp Bizkit at least 4 or 5 times. Another question, when is the Pedestal comeback album dropping? So for anybody who doesn't know, Pedestal is my dumb joke slam band from a million years ago. I actually am going to make a comeback, but what I'm going to make a music video for my song, and I'll tell you why I'm going to do it, is because I get a lot of stuff like this. Will M9 says, let's see you play guitar if you can. When people use weird ellipses like this, that's always a sign that this person is kind of unhinged. And I'll play you my silly joke band just so you can hear it, for anybody who hasn't heard it. I'm going to make a music video for this song, specifically because a lot of people think that I can't play music or that I don't play an instrument or anything like that. And people have like a weird idea that if you don't play an instrument, that you can't criticize music. Like, you can only have an opinion on music if you play an instrument. That's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think that I do not play an instrument. So I'm going to do a music video for this. I did everything on this except for the vocals. So I did the drum programming. I played guitar and mixed it. Did the whole thing. I think it's great.
You already know that, though. You're just gonna die
I think this song is a 10 out of 10.
No one likes people who like metal.
And I'm very excited for this video to come out. I love this. I made this song a long time ago. I still think it's great. Love that snare. Listen to that slam snare. What a beautiful drum sound. Damn, that's a good snare. Oh yes, and check out this feature. Check out the feature on this.
Yo, this is Willie Wilson Jackson from The Story So Far. You're getting down with Pedestal Men's Word.
Will from The Story So Far on my slam song. So, yes, I am going to do a little comeback. That's it. It'll be probably, I don't know, whenever we get the music video done, maybe, I don't know, a few weeks or month or something like that. We'll see. Last question is, could country rock like Hardy, Jelly Roll, and Cole Wetzel make rock music more popular again, at least in the USA? I mean, they already have, right? I mean, Hardy, Jelly Roll, Cole Wetzel are super popular, probably more popular than any rock artist of like a similar age, I think. Whether you want to think of them as country or rock, I guess is up to you, but I think all of them have had songs on the rock charts, so at least in the eyes of the music industry, they're rock. But it feels like country has sort of stolen the thunder from rock, right? Like, there hasn't been any kind of like breakout rock artist in a long time, and it feels like these guys are kind of capturing the same energy that would have gone into rock artists in the past, and they're obviously huge. So I don't like any of them. I like pop country. Like I'm into this kind of stuff. Big fan of this girl, Kelsey Ballerini, one of my favorites. Love her. This is my kind of thing. You know, even someone like Zach Bryan doesn't necessarily sound like rock, but it feels like he's culturally kind of rock, if that makes sense. It's really up to rock whether they want to embrace these artists or not. In the same way as when all the rappers were into rock and the rock people wanted nothing to do with them, that was kind of a miss on the part of the rock audience for not embracing that. They got to claim their wins. So if they're smart, the rock audience will adopt people like Hardy and Cole Wetzel and Jelly Roll and claim them, because I think they would be happy to do that. But it's really just up to rock fans, and we know how they are. Not the most open-minded, accepting people. Let's put it that way. We've seen how this plays out before, so I predict that we will still see the Scorpions and Disturbed headlining festivals in 10 years when they're like literally in wheelchairs. That's what I think. So that does it for this installment of me reacting to your hot takes and unpopular opinions. Hopefully now Reddit hates you as much as they hate me. Join us next time for another edition of this amazing segment. Your butt is no longer in agony.